Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. I'm Lamia Harp. I'm here with Baka Shinobi, and we are here to watch the third matchup for Zilch and Twisted Flax. How are you doing today, Baka?
I'm doing great. I am excited to go and see this match because their last match was apparently a very fun and exciting match to watch. So if you're looking for more free enterprise after this, that's another place to go to. But with what we
It,
have, this is a set of objectives.
this is indeed a set of objectives, and I'll just double click on what you just said. Both of the races so far for these folks have been within just a few minutes of each other. So I'm really excited to see if we see another close call for them today. Um, let's see. Queen at Town of Monsters and Vanilla. So we've got lots of great boss objectives, but not as many boss sets as we could have.
Yep, we just have the one static boss hump of defeat Wyvern while we keep the complete Cape Bahamut. Adding in that Conquer the Villain Masamune altar, there's no escaping a Darkness Crystal this seed. You are going to have to go and have that. Not like you're going to be able to get much experience without Edge and Pass to
Absolutely,
get to Zeromus.
absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, is that a Porum start for us?
That is a Palom start. Porum has the bigger shoulder pads and not quite as has more buttons rather than the chain
Oh,
that you
that's
can
great.
see.
I never noticed those details before. I always rely on the colors of their costumes, but obviously that doesn't work here with our recolored sprites, which are beautiful.
Yep, but Palom is a very solid start. He's a good damage dealer. One real fight, and he's going to go and have tier 2 spells. That's
Hmm.
going to be enough to go and get started on damage, but getting there is going to be a little tricky unless you feel like hunting for dancing daggers.
Indeed. Yeah, as far as sea heroes go, how do you? Palom's a pretty good start. Who do you like to see as a hero personally, as a runner,
Palom,
currently in the tournament?
Palom is definitely a favorite. He is one very good at just dealing out early damage. He can go and carry the team for a long time, but when he stops carrying and we get to the Zeromus fight, you can slap a curse ring on him and you can have a very strong relative agility setup without having to worry too much.
Love that. Oh, and Atella to accompany our young black mage.
The Sage going and teaching the wannabe Sage how to go and get things done, only I'm pretty sure the wannabe Sage is the one who's going to be getting things done.
I agree. And we're seeing an early glimpse of what our grind may be. We've got all of these main objectives, so we know we're going to see a darkness crystal, and we have our Tella. Do you think we have a deep machine grind in our near future?
Depends on how early that Darkness Crystal shows up. If it shows up on the overworld, I can see going for that D-Money grind. You're going to go and have one solid Black Mage if you get a few others. Like, say, Iridia's around, go and slingshot her up to nuke. Everything's golden. If you find a party of Cecil, Kane, and Rosa, maybe you're less inclined to do D-Machines if you had a long trek to go and find that Darkness Crystal and
Mm,
want to just lean on power overwhelming through Zerkers instead.
that makes sense. That makes sense. We see both of our runners here in the Watery Pass. I've been very interested these flags in this tournament to see what people's different looting strategies have been. With this party, when would you stop looting in particular? Are you looking for specific items, or are you just trying to open a certain number of boxes and work from there?
Right now, I definitely want to be looking for some early game damage. That Lilith Rod is a very nice find because that's good on Tella during the D Machine grind, and it goes and boosts Black Magic stats. So I would definitely want to keep looting. And with Tella, looting the whole Watery Pass is not the worst idea because you have the exit spell, hit all of these higher than average chests on these T Pro flags to go and see if you can pull something pretty helpful. I've Samurai Bow could be pretty helpful just because that's extra physical damage early that you may need to transition into for certain bosses.
That's true. We know where Val is, but there are other bosses where we'll want that physical DPS to accompany our black magic here as well.
Yeah, CPU and Paladin is actually shockingly rude if you have just Porm for your or you can just Paladin for your damage because, well, Paladin does elemental damage early on, and until he's level 20, Paladin's going to resist all of that elemental damage. He's just going to go, not even resist, absorb it, and throw
That's
nasty
true.
stuff back at you.
That's true. Wow.
That just having a secondary source of damage could be very helpful. The Black Sword is actually nice if we find a Dark Knight Cecil around in the overworld. Best weapon for Dark Knight Cecil.
Always a nice find, especially before ordeals. Um, yeah, with this party of mages, who would you be hoping to see to round out our party in this early game?
Kane is definitely a good pick. Sid would be very nice early game because he's going to go and carry pretty well and can use the Ogre Axe that we found. Rosa would not be terrible, though we don't have any good bows for her yet. Rosa's just always good to have in your team, I feel.
Yeah, I'm never sad to see a Rosa pop up. Let's see. Looks like we've got Twisted Flax gonna check the waterfall boss here. In addition to the Wyvern, we are... Oh, sorry, he's an Antline Cave. Although I will say, in addition to the Wyvern, we do also have a secret hidden boss hunt in every seed, which is the D-Mist as well.
Yes, because we have the no free key items. Excuse me, that was harder to say than I thought. No free key items means that instead of going to Edward and Toria in the bed, you have to find D-Mist, defeat D-Mist, then go to Mist in order to go and get a key item from Rydia's mom.
We've got zilch checking who's in the bed. We have an edge in the bed, so if our runners today find a sand ruby, that's a pretty great source of physical damage, as well as our key to being able to steal sirens.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice character to know is in the siege. We have a ninja sword, as you can see in Zilch's inventory. That's a good weapon for edge. You want to go and just... That's also a second grind without sirens, and you can go and steal various other J items. You can steal silk webs, which... When you go through the entire scene without J items and shops, you first think, oh, it's so bad to not have sirens. Oh, it's so bad not to have Bacchus wines. Then you get to Romus, and it's so bad not to have a silk web. Oh dear.
Yes, that's true. That's true. We've got the Karate Man over... Oh, sorry, go for it.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we have the Karate Man here in Antline Cave. These mages should be fine to take on this relatively low-hitting boss here.
Yep, this Antline spot has very low physical attack, and the party members are in the back row, so they have even more defense, and they have more, less they have more evasion, and more that the enemies have half accuracy, so it's going to be even harder to go and land hit. Meanwhile, Zilch is choosing to go to Hobbs and finds a Cecil. That's someone who can use a Black Sword, and I don't know if Zilch sold, but Zilch did go and pick up an Elven Bow from the shop, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe he did. We also see a Lunar Sparkle as the boss here, so we're definitely going to be checking it looks like. Hopefully picking up the Cecil as well.
Yeah, if we don't get the Cecil, it's not too big of a loss because it is only DKC. It's Wyvern, so required Hobbs.
Here we go. Beam is not a terrible Wyvern to run into here. Oh, and on our other racer side, we have Twisted Flax finding the Magma Key at Antlion. So we've got a pretty wide open seat all of a sudden.
Yeah, we have access to the underground now. A bunch of checks there. There's a free item down in the Feymarch. Boss checks you can do. Though Twisted Flax might be less inclined to do boss checks if he finds this Wyvern, but going straight underground, can't go and blame Twisted Flax for that. But just hopefully needs to remember to come back to this Hobbs, because missing this Wyvern will be a bit unfortunate for Twisted Flax.
Yeah, could you see Twisted Flax fading Hobbs for a long period of time? It is a very valuable character check, but other than that, since we're not searching for too many bosses, I could imagine him fading it for some time.
I can see Twisted Flax not coming back here because you go underground, you find something like, say, a pan in the Feymarch, you find a Sand Ruby, then you go and do the Sylphs to go and get that Sheila 1 check lined up, so you come back and do Kabul and just go straight past Hobbs because you're not ready for it. Speaking of not being ready, Zilch unfortunately took a wipe to that Wyvern, just too many nukes came out in a row, and Zilch was not able to get people revived fast enough.
He's going back in for it, though. Do you think the few changes he just made to his party is going to make the difference?
I think Zilch is going to be coming in with a slightly different plan, which is going to help, though. Zilch is also lacking any experience on Palom, which means his magic is not going to be able to do much. And a Fire 2 would probably get through a large chunk of Wyvern's HP here.
How many HP does this Wyvern have in the Hob spot?
Around 1500, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
So this is a bit of a slog to go through this
Mm.
HP right now, but Cecil with the Black Sword is a big improvement to this party's damage.
That's right. He did keep that black sword, so that's going to help quite a bit. Samurai Bow over on Twisted Flax's side, doing a little bit of looting over in the Cave of Summoned Monsters, running into his first trap chest though, so we'll see if he goes back for that bow. This is a good play to make because there's going to be that free key item at the bottom in the Town of Summoned Monsters, as well as we have our fourth objective is to defeat the Queen spot. We're probably not going to see Twisted take the boss, but going to peek who's there to see what he's going to be in for to get that fourth objective done.
Yeah, and Zilch is taking a second wipe down there to that Wyvern, so we'll see if Zilch goes back to it while Twisted Flax having that Magma Key, just getting a nice bunch of items. That Samurai Bow is pretty helpful because it gives plus 10 strength, which is pretty helpful for those low strength characters to just get a bit going. And Zilch is going and checking the waterfall to go and see if Demus is around, and we'll probably be looting Damsion to check. Check for treasure, excuse me. And Dark Elf in the waterfall, definitely a little annoying to see that, because that's a pretty free boss, all things considered.
Yeah, fairly unfortunate to see that in a spot you're not going to take anyways. Would rather see Dark Elf in a nasty spot, potentially at the Queen of Monsters spot. That might be nice. But we're about to see on Twisted side who that boss is going to be for us here. And we also saw that Twisted Flax picked up the package as the free key item here.
Not necessarily going to be a key item unless Demus is behind that, and that's real cheeky.
That's
But
right.
still nice to have the option, an extra key item, getting closer to 10 count to get double experience is pretty helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get a chance to go and see the sprites for those two. Did you catch them?
There was a guard in the first spot, and I think it was the Maga sisters. In the second.
We have Elven Bows, so that'll do extra damage, but ooh, they're going to hurt in the Assura spot. That is a very high magic, high speed spot as well.
Yeah, indeed.
Buying some charm arrows, those are some of the better arrows you can go and purchase from shops.
Yeah, we've got some good bows now too, Elven Bow and Samurai Bow, so a little bit of DPS for our squishy, magey party.
Yeah, and Twisted Flax has one tier 2 spell on Palom after defeating that antlion, so has some starter damage. Just bluff once or twice and you'll be able to go and hit for 500 to 600 damage at least against most enemies in the overworld.
So we see Zilch here doing his antlion sweep, and then Twisted is setting up Sheila 1, as you mentioned before. So we don't have the pan yet, so we'll just be doing, if we do get the pan, we'll have to come back again to hit Yang with it, but talking to him here will open up a key item check in Fabul.
Yep, and there's great incentive to go to Fabul now because you get a full heal before and after that fight. After you've gone and walked over those damage tiles, taking your party's HP down to 1, that's a great time to go and decide, yeah, let's just get some full healing.
I love that routing tech there. That's great. Anytime you're walking through those caves on the underground, you're pretty much blitzing your entire HP pool. So it's nice to not have to spend the time or the item on doing a tent or using a cabin. So great bit of routing there.
Yep, and looks like, yeah, Twisted Flax is going shifting around. Palom is no longer expected to go and be a caster. Palom is now expected to go and be, or no longer expected to be a fighter, is now expected to be a caster with that switch to the Lilith Rod. And to answer a question from chat, Palom is the hero of the seed. We are going to probably see a lot of Quake.
We call him the Quack Kid, and that is exactly why. Especially having him so early here in the seed, Quake is, once we get it, is going to be doing a lot of work for us here.
Yeah, I wonder if Twisted Flax had any consideration of going and just simply trying to cast or trying to go and take out, use the siren to pop some experience on this party early to get them just enough experience for Quake. Because it only takes 36,000 and you get 34,000 from the one egg. Whew. That Fire 3 is a little scary. Ooh, this is very scary for Twisted Flax.
Uh-oh, losing our Palom here.
This is going to be real hard for Twisted Flax to recover just because Rubicant is just going to keep throwing out those AoE spells, and he is seeming pretty fast.
That's right.
Yeah, it needs to take the reset, and we'll probably go and do some shifting. Palom has one Tier 2 spell, and that Tier 2 spell is Ice 2, which, great against Rubicant. Not so good against the first form of Mylon, though, and if Rubicant's as fast as he's showing himself to be, it's going to be real hard to go and get that Ice 2 off unless you go and shift with Tella somehow. Meanwhile, Zilch is going back for that Wyvern, going and has Tier 2 spells now, and does not want to go and just leave this be.
No, wants to get the objective out of the way, wants to get that Cecil as well. Again, we have the Black Sword for Dark Knight Cecil, which helps a lot. But then with our Atella and a Cecil in your party, first of all, you've got the damage that Cecil gives, and second of all, you've got a lot of incentive to run up ordeals after this.
Yeah, ordeals is going to go and be pretty big for this party. It looks like, well, there is some small incentive not to do ordeals in the fact that your hero has to do that fight alone, and you want to make sure that Palom is very ready for that fight.
This is true. One of the aspects of the Sea Hero flag that we have in this tournament is the fact that whoever your hero is, in this case Palom, he has to do that ordeals fight all by himself. Oh, a pass for completing Fabul. Interesting. Again, another key item that doesn't open up any more of the seed for us here, but always nice to have towards the end.
Yep, and that goes and informs some routing decisions, because if we didn't have that pass, anytime you go to the bottom of the lunar subterranean, you're going to feel bad because you might have to take a second walk back down there if you get go mode, but don't have the pass. With that pass, it is much easier to say, all right, I'm going to clear at the bottom of the moon. But our runners might not need to worry too much. Actually, no, excuse me. Our Wyverns won't have to worry about that. Once they find darkness, they'll be in go mode.
That's right. I love to see this back of Hobbs loot, which we usually only see when we have an exit caster in our party. Not exactly the best loot here today, but always a nice check.
Yeah, it has good potential for giving something very helpful. So there is plenty of encouragement to go and just take that loot if you have a way to easily exit.
I see that Sheila 1 gave us a Luca key, so starting to get a few more checks on that opens up another check for us. I noticed in this tournament that a lot of folks tried to keep Sealed Cave as a sort of a last resort check. Why might that be, Baka?
So that last that Sealed Cave boss has incredibly high speed, probably the highest in the game, and incredibly high magic. So if you get something pretty nasty there, like Golbez, you're gonna go and be dealing with a boss who is just spamming high tier spells at you endlessly, and they're going to just destroy your party if you're not able to get a reflect up. Leviathan is also quite scary in that spot, just because Ice 2's hitting for 4-digit damage. It's more likely than you think.
Don't want to experience that at all. Not at this point, especially with our party still in the early levels here.
Agreed. It is nice that you can go walk down there and see what the item is and who the boss is, but it's still a bit slow. And Twisted Flax is not going up that Hobbs yet. May have gone and put it out of mind. May have just simply decided I'm going to go and push for this ordeals as fast as possible, but he's going to miss that Wyvern and Cecil for a bit.
Yeah, I would be hurting for more party members. Again, Palom's got to do the room at the top by himself, but we do have two bosses up here, which can potentially be a little tricky for two early level mages. We're probably not going to see him struggle too much, but Yeah, I'm starting to want to have a third and fourth party member pretty soon here.
Yeah, I don't know if Twisted Flax even checked who the package character was.
I didn't see it either. No, I don't think so.
Well, Twisted Flax is going to find not Wyvern here, but one of the other lunar bosses, and it's D
Ooh.
Lunar's not terrible for this party. This spot has rather low physical attack power, so it's not likely to go and kill the mages, and it only has about 2,500 HP total, so too hard to go and take down with these mages, I think.
That's nice. And the fires aren't doing too much damage either, so yeah, I think we'll see Twisted Flax get through this fairly quickly. Is that 2,500 split between the two D-Lunars as well?
Yes.
Or is that each? Yeah, okay.
So maybe it goes up to a total of 3,000 here. I'm always fuzzy on the exact numbers, but it's not a terribly hard spot. It's not hard hitting. It does have reasonably decent magic, though. We see the back D-Lunar is already down.
Did we see, question from chat, did we see Zilch pick up the package?
Yes, I do believe Zilch did go and pick up the package.
That was at Antlion, right?
It was at the Famar Treaty chest.
Oh, that's right.
But Zilch is going and taking a few chests in the Sylph Cave, but chose not to go and take chests in the Path to Famarch, which I find rather interesting.
There are a lot more trap chests in the Sylph Cave.
Yep.
Bit riskier to do that.
It's riskier, but Sylph does have a higher tier loot table, which can be, well, I've popped a Power Shirt and Defense Sword out of here sometimes, so it's not the worst. And Zilch is choosing to go land on this peninsula, and is probably going to be popping a Siren.
Yeah, looks like we got 2 of them in our starting pack today. So he's gonna do. You think he's just gonna do the one, right, to get Quake?
I would be surprised if Zilch does more than one, to be entirely honest, because yes, Quake is good to have. You might not go and hit it with. Oh, Zilch is probably going to hit it, and getting the Swoon proc with Cecil, easy 34,000 experience. Getting Virus, getting Toad. There's Quake. The kid's online. Damage is going to flow quite freely as Twisted Flax is finding Mom Bomb without that Quake and might be in a bit more trouble because of it.
It's not exactly power overwhelming, but it kind of feels like power overwhelming here in the early game to have all of those spells on Palin here.
Oh yeah, it is going to go and just... Zilch is going to have numerous faster fights, but Zilch is also almost 3 fights behind Twisted Flax at the moment. Though Zilch does again have the advantage of the Wyvern, so I guess it's only a 1 boss advantage, but still the cutscenes and the walk-up reveals.
That's true. Twisted Flax using Blink to get through this Mom Bomb fight, not bad. Kind of a punchy boss, but not the worst place to see Mom Bomb. I've seen Mom Bomb really gate some runners in nastier spots, so I think we're going to be getting through this just fine.
Yeah, I think the scariest part is going to be the explode at the end, because this team has to survive it. Mom Bomb gets a bonus 9,000 HP to get Mom Bomb through that explode script, and if you kill it before it happens, that's fine, but the 9,000 HP is going to be very hard to go through in only a handful of turns. Another thing is there's probably some serious MP concerns for Palom here as well, because he's not exceptionally high level, and those tier 2 spells cost 50 MP each. It's very easy to go and just start running out, which Twisted Flax might have run into. As Tella is also running low on MP. Zilch, on the other hand, sees the Elements fight, finishes the Element fight right away, just that 34,000 experience being put to good use here.
Very good use, yeah. Those spells on Palom really make a big difference here. Just as you were saying, with having the right spells to use against the Elements fight, especially in a low HP spot, is key.
Yeah, it's just very easy to go and get shifted around. Ooh, that...
Ooh.
We have a weapon to use. We have a Stardust that should go and take care. Oh dear, these bombs started swinging, but Tella gets the Stardust off. Twisted Flax is through Mom Bomb.
Nice. Well done, Twisted. GG's.
That is that's a fight that Twisted Flax is probably a little don't know Twisted Flax's age, but if Twisted Flax didn't have gray hairs already, he might have just sprouted a few from that.
Yeah, I know I did. Just watching it. Really tough, but he got through. Let's see who the boss here is. Again, we're going to see Palom go in alone here, and still pretty early levels. Although he did get the XP from that fight that he was down for. Another quirk of the Sea Hero flag is that your hero always gains XP even if they are down at the end of a fight.
Yes, that's well, ooh, a sand ruby. That is going
Ooh,
to be very nice.
we've got that Edge to look forward to. Very excited to see Edge in this seed, and that Sand Ruby is our key to waking him up.
Oh yeah, that is going to be. Both runners have at least one ninja sword. I believe Zilch has two ninja swords, so Edge is going to be able to swing
Right,
quite hard, and we'll have a Paladin Cecil to back up the team.
that's right. Dark Imps. Are Dark Imps always a free boss, or just most of the time?
They're free in the sense that they don't have the boss spin and they're susceptible to pretty much every status effect, but they're not so free when they're at some place like the Crystal Sword Altar and punch down your team before you get a spell off.
Right, that makes sense.
They're but yes, Hourglasses, Piggy. Well, Piggy wouldn't do too much to them. Size, Toad,
Mm.
uh, Cat Claws. Always respect the Cat Claws. But Twisted Flax is through that ordeals, has Baron in, and still needs to look at Hobbs to find that Cecil and that Wyvern.
That's right, and Zilch will be following him here very closely on the ordeals check. Already has the Wyvern, um, Wyvern boss found and defeated. Twisted still doesn't know where Wyvern is. And the benefit to Zilch here is he'll get that Cecil. The Cecil will be a paladin at the end of this too, so a nice little bonus for doing ordeals for Zilch.
Yeah, and that level 23 Black Sword wielding Cecil is doing almost 500 damage a swing. That's
Amazing.
almost Paladin Cecil damage.
That's right. You love to see the black sword, especially picking. I think we picked that up in the Watery Path, so nice to grab that, put it on your Cecil before you do ordeals, and watch it do its thing.
Yeah, and speaking of doing the thing, there's Quake Kid doing the quaking thing, and goodbye, Mom Bombs.
Twisted is gonna go use that Sand Ruby, picking up the Edge. I don't know if he's checked the bed here, but either way, about to be very happy with the Sand Ruby pickup here.
Going funny with the menu a little bit, but yes, very eager to add this edge to the party.
Maybe a little too eager, yeah.
And I can't blame Twisted Flax. This is Twisted Flax's first actual fighter, so nice
That's
to go and
right.
have that reliable melee damage.
That's right. What do you do next if you're Twisted? I mean, we still have Baron in. We haven't even checked who's there yet. Has Twisted checked the package as well?
I don't believe Twisted has checked the package. Twisted might be going and preparing to just go with the team that he has rather than going and looking for more party members. But as we saw with Hobbs, there's something very important there.
That's right. I know that's one of the scary things about getting this edge for Twisted Flax is we're starting to see that character check on Hobbs become less and less viable of a check. The more party members we get that we like, the fewer party members we're going to be looking for. Obviously, our runners know they need to check as many boss spots as possible, but to find that Wyvern. But yeah, I'm curious to see how much longer he fades that check.
Yeah, I think maybe Twisted Flax is trying to clear out as much as he can overworld, and then put together as many people as possible to use the first Siren with. But Zilt is showing off that first Siren is doing really good work. Helen with Quake, already through her deals, going to go and be able to get Edge now as well, and it's going to be able to just start working through the season. There is Twisted Flax going up Hobbs.
This should be a lot easier for him than it was for Zilch on that first pass. He's got a few more levels, he's got the Edge.
Cecil's a
Makes sense.
paladin, so he's going to be ever slightly faster than base level Dark Knight Cecil.
Hmm.
Edge doing almost 1,000 damage, which, yes, that is a big improvement.
Pretty kind as far as Wyvern abilities go, too. So, easy start to the fight. And
Yep.
it's over. That was quick. Pretty easy one today.
Definitely went very smoothly for Twisted Flax, all set and ready to go, while Zilch just picked up that Edge, is going to do some equipping, and yeah, double Ninja Sword for Edge. That is that's some nice damage.
That's right. And for the first time in a little while, our runners are pretty much in the same spot. No, I don't think we have anybody has any checks on each other at this point.
I believe you're correct. I think everything's evened up, though. The main advantage to be found is Zilch with the experience lead, down one Siren, but up 34,000 experience
That's
on
right.
Callum and Tella. Twisted Flax actually has the experience lead on Cecil with the delayed Hobbs.
That's right.
Twisted Flax going for Baron in, Zilch going in. I expect Zilch will do the same just because it's linked to the last bit of the overworld, and then probably looking at Dwarf Castle, unless we get something more enticing from this end.
Yeah. Why would you go Dwarf, or why do you think they'll go Dwarf Castle next versus well, I guess there aren't that many more checks to do, and Dwarf does give us a character as well.
Yes, that's my thinking. Dwarf gives his character check, so maybe we can go and spike a White Mage who's not at the Baron Inn as we find a duplicate Cecil. Furthermore, Dwarf Castle has 2 boss checks, so you can go and hopefully snipe Wyvern there. And I think it's going to be generally easier than the top of tower or that sealed cave.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That said, if we get darkness here, all that goes out the window, and I think we're going to see a grind come out.
A nice, easy boss here. Free boss, you might say, with King and Queen Evelyn at Baron Inn. So, not the worst Baron Inn I've seen in this tournament. We've got an Antlion and a King and Queen Evelyn, which, with these characters, at these levels, the Antlion is no big deal at all. And the King and Queen Evelyn fight is just a little bit of a waiting game.
Yeah, any Baron Inn that ends in King Queen Evelyn is going to go and be a pretty kind Baron Inn in my book.
Yeah.
We were just seeing the damage disparity between Edge and Cecil. Cecil doing 188 damage with his axe on Zilch's side, and Edge doing 1,000.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. We have our Paladin Cecil here, which we're happy to see, but we don't yet have a great weapon for him. So, we might see, oh, wow.
Well,
Did you speak the spoiler logs? That's exactly what we were looking for here, the Darkness Crystal. This opens up quite a bit for us.
yeah, that's go mode.
Yep. Yeah, it opens up a few checks, and oh, by the way, also go mode.
No forge today. 5 key items. Let's go. I don't even think the pass is going to be relevant because we're most likely going to finish on Masamune Altar.
That's true. Okay, so we have both of our runners getting go mode with the same party, the same checks under their belts. What do you do if you're in this situation? We see Zilch running to the moon, which makes sense, but yeah, what do we do first once we get there?
You definitely check the character because 1, you have to go down the Lunar Subterrane anyway, so that's get that out of the way. 2, if it's a good character that you want to add to your party, like it's Rosa, Horum, Rydia, you probably just don't even bother looking at Cape Bahamut and do a D Machine grind. Slingshot them up to just incredible levels and go from there. If you have Rosa, you probably take fewer levels because you ride on the back of the Edge and the Cecil. If it's a Rydia, you go and take both Rydia and Palom to nuke and go from there.
Makes sense. Hoping we don't see another dupe at the Crystal Sword altar. If so, are you looking for your 5th character, or are you just going to run right into the grind?
I'm running to package this check for a 5th character. That slingshot can be too good. Rosa, in my opinion, goes and swings a lot of parties from this is scary to this is perfectly safe and fine. Like, Horum is good as well, just having the healing, having that white magic, having someone who can equip a Hairworn robe and be very fast into your Z fight with white magic spells is incredibly helpful in my opinion. Just you want to go and get slows out, you want to get berserks out. A white mage who can go and do that just faster than your zerkers is incredibly helpful in my opinion. Yes, it hurts healing, but
not necessarily who we were hoping to see up here.
there is a strong temptation on my side to go and just reset, but yep, there it is.
Yep.
That's not a character, that's a blank. You go and check package, see if you can go and get a character.
Yes, that makes sense. You do have to sit through that cutscene again, but it beats having to do the cutscene to come back to the Earth. Oh, Zilch is
Zilch
actually
works
going
in
Dwarf Castle. Interesting.
it's definitely a number of minutes to go and sit through for a package, but maybe Zilch might just be only looking for ethers.
Oh, yeah, good point. And he finds them.
Couple cabins, makes a lot of sense. Twisted Flax walking the Edward out, coming back to Earth. It is a 5th character, you can slingshot Edward. The Charm Rod Zilch found is going to be very nice as well, because that's plus 10 wisdom. Looking there, finding a Rune Axe.
Yeah.
Zilch, I think, is not going to go for a Demaging grind. Zilch might go for a Steel Sirens and grind Warlocks on the moon.
That makes sense.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just realized Magus Sisters is at King Queen Evelyn, or Queen Evelyn.
That's right.
Queen Evelyn, Queen of Summoned Monsters.
That's right. So instead of doing Forge, we're probably going to see that Magus Sisters boss. Then we go to the moon, do Cape Bahamut, do the Masamune altar. So makes sense, I guess, to come down here. Zilch looking for another character.
Yeah, Zilch definitely seems very interested in the character. Twisted Fox looks to be going and checking the package, if I'm not mistaken. And that, not the worst idea. Also going and looking in the shop, might be looking for a curse string for sale.
That's right.
That's Iridia. That is a slingshot target if you want one.
Indeed.
Twisted Flax does not feel compelled to go and take that Iridia, though. Maybe Twisted Flax is thinking of doing Dwarf Castle as well, get another character, and go from there.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. He knows the Iridia's there, so maybe he comes back if he wants to, if he doesn't find a better option. And the cutscene for that character is kind of long, so I can see fading it until unless you absolutely have to, or we might just see taking Edward to the moon instead.
If you get Edward the amount of experience required to get Palom Nuke, and Edward gets twice that, he becomes a real character. Not gonna lie, he's gonna go and have several thousand HP.
That's true. And I saw in the chat, we can always stock our inventory with curative items and turn him into a little bit of a chemist, having him throw cure 3s on folks and just keep the Z fight going. Oh, and we have another Rydia here at Dwarf Castle, so package cutscene not required.
Yeah, that's well, you're gonna go and get Rydia, it seems. So I wonder if we're gonna go see this Rydia get knocked down, or if we're just gonna go straight at Ogopogo, not go and try and preserve a slingshot.
Good question.
Zilch does not seem to be interested in preserving the slingshot. So we're going to get, there's a key item check here, so we'll go and see what we get here. Do you have any thoughts on what do you think our runners are hoping to see?
At this point, we're so far away from 10 key items that I might want to see a Pinktail so that we can see if we get a good weapon for Cecil down at the Pinktail trading cave. We have an edge, so maybe the spoon, just for that extra teeny bit of damage in the Z fight. I don't know. We're not really looking to open up the seed anymore. We're really just looking for characters, levels, items. So what do you think?
Maybe Earth Crystal to go and... Well, that's not an Earth
Oh.
Crystal or anything. But an
Unfortunately,
Earth
yeah,
Crystal for treasury.
that's true. That would be a nice item check as well.
And Seth's pointing out, it's a dart. We got a dart to replace the Drain Spear we sent.
Yeah, nice 1-for-1 there.
It looks like Zilch is going and just getting ready to head up tower as well. Or Zilch might be going to steal Sirens. That's
what
yep.
I'm thinking. But looking for the trap chest, looking to get into the fight that Edge is going to really shine for this team. And yeah, Twisted dismissing the Edward, taking the Rydia. We'll see if he sets up the slingshot with her.
Yeah, Zilch does not seem committed to the slingshot in the slightest. He's going to go and just steal Sirens, it looks like. Already got Rydia levels and most likely putting her well outside of slingshot range. He's going and trying to kill off Cecil. Cecil proving why he is the back row bodyguard.
That's right. Can't even hurt himself.
Oh, and Twisted Flax takes a wipe on Dwarf Castle.
Oh, unfortunate.
It's just going to go through the package cutscene instead, which makes sense. It's a fight you don't have to even worry about trying to preserve a slingshot on. So, and Twisted Flax knows that there's no Demist here. Maybe Twisted Flax can spike a Demist here.
Yeah, that's true. At the very infrequently checked package boss spot. Love that Cecil and Rosa making out sprite that we saw for the package. The power of love, yes.
Power of love, burning down the house and the rest of the village. And Zilch is stealing up a number of Sirens. I think with the Runax, Zilch is going to go and take Warlocks on the Moon. But I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, what are the different options once you have your Sirens? What are the best Siren grinds for this stage and these flags?
Well, there's always Yellow Dragon Eggs, which 34,000 experience a pop. Always nice to go and see. You just simply go and take a few, well, it takes 34 of those to take Rydia from level 1 to nuke, so maybe you do a few fewer than that, but Zilch is going and just farming up a lot of them. If you can go and kill those eggs quickly, preferably in one shot, so you have to go through the hatch animation and deal with the Yellow Dragon potentially going and ruining your party's day, you can go and just get bunches of levels. Alternatively, other popular grinds in the past have been Gold Dragons on the Moon. Very easy to go and turn into a big pile of experience because you throw an hourglass them, stop them, use just kill one of them, life glitch one, and get double experience from that. With no life glitch on, that's harder, and with no good source of hourglasses, it's even less likely you want to go and do a lot of those.
That makes sense. What about this Warlock? Oh, wow. Sorry, we found the Demist behind the package after all, so interesting. We've got another item check, key item check right after this as well. Very interesting.
Apparently I just will key items into existence.
Yeah, that's true. That's 2 for 2 so far.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
That was serendipitous for Twisted Flax.
Indeed. If we see the Earth Crystal here, and the Torii Treasury is not haunted, as it can sometimes be with this flag set, that could be a pretty good boon for him.
Yeah, that could definitely get a Crystal Sword or an Avenger there is very big for Cecil. Just makes it much easier to go and do damage with Cecil, and then you only really have to worry about keeping Cecil healed up.
We still don't have a Cursed Ring. That could be a nice find as well.
Yep. But look at the number of steals Zilch is doing. We are done with stealing, starting a Drain Spear to get out of this. Pretty sure we're gonna go and see. Oh, good.
Interesting. Adamant is
That
not much for us right now. I guess there's a world in which you do another check and get really lucky and get the Legend Sword, and then you can fade one of the bosses you don't want to do. But yeah,
yeah,
I
the
don't know.
main line I could see for that is you go and do Masamune Altar before you do the Cave Bahamut. Try and
Right.
spike Legend Sword off that, and then you go and skip either. You probably do Cave Bahamut, but skip Counter Summon Monsters because that's a
Yeah.
long walk, and you have
Yeah.
to heal after it.
That's right. And we do have the pass, so it's not the worst thing to have to go all the way down to the Masamune altar and then come back because we've got the pass anyway. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Twisted Flax does next.
Yeah, I think Twisted Flax is going to be highly encouraged to go and D-Machine Grind, pick up 10 twos, is going to the Big Whale. And, well, Zilch is just simply... Zilch stole all of those sirens, is going to go and be using... yep,
25 sirens. Yeah, here we go.
that is a lot of experience, and you're going to get more after... after, you need to go and do the Queen Spot fight and the Cape Bahamut fight. Fewer cutscenes for Zilch, but his grind is going to go and net him less overall experience, and Rydia is going to almost certainly be shy of Nuke if I'm not miscalculating.
Right, because we did not keep her down to slingshot her, so not quite enough to get her to Nuke. I don't think so either.
The other question is, so people mentioned you can go get Ashura on Rydia to go and take care of healing duty, which, very fair, it's a reasonable thing to go and get on your characters, but it's going to be a little tricky to go and do a Z fight without a white mage if you're relying on Zerkers, because
Very true.
you're going to have to steal Bacchus Wine with Edge if you want to do that. Kel is going to be too slow to keep getting the Zerks up after Black Holes.
Very true. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that we don't have a white mage for this party. Which of these grinds is going? Do these grinds take about the same amount of time? The two we've got Zilch doing eggs and Twisted Flax doing D-Money. Once Twisted Flax gets into the grind battle, are we seeing either one of them taking a significantly shorter amount of time than the other?
I think once Zilch is currently struggling to get through some of the eggs right now, cannot one-shot them on, so Zilch's grind is going to be slower for a bit. Twisted Flax is not going to get any rewards from his grind until all the way to the end,
Right.
but it's very easy to get into a rhythm with Twisted Flax's grind, where you go and just cast weak, you destroys, you get the searcher set up, take things out, cast your weak, kill the D-Machine, restore Tel's MP if needed, do any healing up in between, and go again.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to... Twisted Flax will probably get more experience. Twisted Flax will have the stronger party after the grind, but I think Twisted Flax is going to spend markedly more time in the grind than Zilch.
Makes sense. Ryben pointing out in the chat that that was a remarkably fast D-Money setup, and just wanted to point out that these two runners are two of the most knowledgeable runners that I know running in this tournament together. So it's really great to see that really quick setup. He's right into it.
Yeah, this is... Jet seeds are always the hardest and scariest seeds in my opinion, because you are frequently stuck with very suboptimal situations, not really... maybe you have the luxury of going and sneaking around and getting an extra check in there to hopefully find a rose or something, but this is your party, this is what you're going to take to Zeromus. You have only Edward as a secondary option, and I don't think Edward beats any other character available to you at the moment.
No, I don't think so either.
But we do have the competing grinds going on. We'll should go and take this moment to thank our restreamer, excuse me, I have a hard time. Psychonaut for being our restreamer, rolling this lovely seed, Marshall for tracking, and Flaming Heart for joining me on commentary.
Thank you so much for having me, Baka. It's so good to do commentary with you today. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a wait while we get through these grinds. Oh,
Ooh. Twisted Flax did not get the D Machine encounter. That really stings.
yeah. Oh,
That
that's
is,
unfortunate.
there are two fights that go and have the double beamer searcher set up. One summons D Machines, one summons Centaur, which are not what you want. This fight, however, I know is the fight you want because on the D Machine chart, this and the step after this are both green circles. This is where your fights are.
Right, so we're set up now, but that was an unfortunate little time sink there for Twisted Flax.
Yeah, that was about a minute loss for Twisted Flax, just going through and getting through the searcher, the beamers, and getting ready
Finding
to go
those-
into this.
Yeah, finding those surprise horsemen, centaurs, not great. Meanwhile, how many sirens have we gotten through on Zilch's side? I stopped counting.
Well, at least the inventory will count for us. It's easy to count the D machines.
True.
You have another 17 to go.
All right.
Things are going better for the team, though, just because Cecil and Edge are getting up to enough damage where they can go and rely. Yeah, there's 2,000 damage from Edge. That's killing that Yellow Dragon very quickly.
Yeah, don't even have to worry about that anymore. Won't be seeing the it's a blaze that monster does, right?
The Yellow Dragon will cast Thunder on all
Thunder.
party members. The D Machine will cast Fire. Funnily enough, Blaze is a nice elemental attack. Why? I would love to be able to tell you.
It is blue, so you know. Let's see. What are we going to be seeing Zilch do once he's through this grind? We're downstairs. We're in the underground, so I would imagine we're going to see him knock out those Mega Sisters, right?
That would make a lot of sense. I do know that Zilch, for the trap chest that Zilch checked, he got a Leviathan orb for it, which is a very helpful one. There is a rune axe being switched onto Cecil. I think we're very likely to go and see a Mega Sisters fight after this grind is done.
Makes sense. And then, would you personally check Cape Bahamut before walking down? I guess that makes sense as well.
Yes, I would absolutely check Cape Bahamut before walking down, just because there is a very small, narrow margin where I don't want to do Cape Bahamut, and that's where it's an alt gauntlet, and I don't think I can kill it quickly or at all. But I don't think there's a real situation for Zilch where doing Cape Bahamut is a viable play, because Zilch does not have the Adamant Rock that Twisted Flax does.
That's right.
I can see an argument for Twisted Flax going and pretty much taking the spots in the opposite order of Zilch. Go and take out the Masamune altar, see if it gets Forge, do Cape Bahamut, and then come back and Forge. Or maybe just Forge and do the Mega Sisters down in the Fame Arch if seeing the fight there is just, wow, that's absolutely disgusting. I don't want to have any part of this.
Right.
Like, say, an alt gauntlet there.
Yeah, alt gauntlets on the moon are never fun. It's always a long fight, and if the moon boss is there, it can be a tough fight too. We'll have plenty of levels going into whatever bosses we find in those moon spots, but still, huge time suck to do an alt gauntlet.
Yep. And other bosses that would be bad there would be Golbez would be annoying. I don't believe we've seen them anywhere. We have seen Wyvern, we have seen Valvalis. Valvalis is at Baron Castle, giving us the original item. So we really don't have too many really awful bosses. Antlion has already been found. Baigen would probably be a rude boss at that Cape Bahamut spot because it's high physical attack power.
That's right.
Kainazo always remains exceptionally fun because the waves do true damage, not affected by defense, and is mostly focused on the boss's HP. and you put that boss in a high HP spot, and it's going to get real mean really quickly. Twisted Flax has gone and set up a very stable order for their D Machine fight. They have Palom, Tella, and Cecil alive. Edge is down, and Rydia are down. Chat pointing out that Rydia is incredibly slow, and Rydia taking a turn is something close to a miracle, while Edge is going to take all the turns, and is probably going to throw up Twisted Flax's order very quickly and easily. So, makes sense to just do a consistent cycle that is easy to go through, and you don't have to worry about messing something up on yourself.
That makes a lot of sense. Just like you said, I think one of the keys to getting through this grind is just to get into a rhythm and know every turn as it's going to come, and really have as little variability as possible. Almost be able to turn your brain off and just let it happen.
Yep. Though don't turn it off too much, because I have gone and forgotten to heal Tella's NP in that fight multiple times, and it's real hairy every single time you do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, always staying somewhat alert, but making sure that getting into that rhythm as quickly as possible. Love to see that. Do you think he's? I love to see when racers use the Thor rages to count how many of these battles they've done. I noticed that's the item he's using to reactivate the searcher. Is that? Do you think that's what Twisted Flax is doing as well, using that item count to help him keep track?
Twisted Flax is using it because Cecil's going to do a lot of damage, even if he doesn't have a weapon. And a few hundred damage might seem like a lot to a creature with thousands of HP, but it goes pretty quickly when you're going and trying to hit it 20 times to summon enough D machines.
Right, yeah. What's your favorite grind to do with this flag set? So it's nice to see two different grinds happening simultaneously. I know a lot of these matchups we've had really only one viable grind option in a given seed. But if you had your druthers, which grind do you feel most comfortable with this flag set?
D machine it's a real good staple. It's too good to go and turn up in situations like you have that Rydia you can slingshot. The egg grind is also, once you have that critical mass of power to go and be one-shotting the eggs one way or another, it's very efficient, as we see Zilch is going through these eggs faster and faster. I think he's down to 5 sirens at this point, and is almost done with his grind. Well, I know that Twisted Flax still has another, even if we're just going for a nuke on Rydia, we still have a good number of probably 8 to 7 summons at least, and could be another 10 on top of that if we want to get nuke on Palom as well.
Yeah.
But when I'm playing these seeds, and I enjoy when I get stuck without the good options, because improvising is fun, and climbing on behemoths is always kind of funny to me.
I love that grind. Yeah, that's a surprise one I hadn't thought of until I saw it recently in a matchup. The behemoth grind is nice too. So we've got Zilch. He's finished with the Siren grind, and he's walking down to the Land of Summoned Monsters, going to take on those Mega Sisters.
Tracker pointing out that Zilch spent a total of 18 minutes grinding. So I think Twisted Flax is going to wrap up the D Machine grind a bit faster than Zilch's total grind. But Zilch is currently going first. Zilch is going and getting more objectives done right now. And Rydia is just shy of nuke, it looks like, 1 level shy. Palom has nuke pretty safely at level 53, so Rydia almost guaranteed to go and get nuke after the next 1 or 2 fights, I'm guessing.
I kind of like that, knowing that you have a few bosses that you need to do to finish the seed. It allows you to end your grind a battle or 2 early, since you know that nuke is coming, without you having to do yet another egg.
Yeah, and nuke really isn't going to help too much on the Maga Sisters, because the sister who you really want to go and lay out that damage to is the middle one who gets the wall. And
that's right.
You don't want to go and try and cast nuke on a character with wall. Kind of hurts.
Nope. Not usually the way to go. Not only does it hurt you, it does 0 damage to her, so really kind of a waste of time.
You might be able to reflect some later in the fight after Sandy goes and throws some extra walls out, but it's still not going to be terribly well, unless the other two sisters are down. That can be terribly effective.
Very true. Which is why a party like this is nice for taking out the rest of the seed, because we've got the physical DPS, all the physical DPS we could hope for with that Edge and that Cecil. And then the mages are here too for this fight.
Yeah, we've got a good balance of damage to the team. The main thing we're lacking is the white mage, like Rosa or Porum, just because Hela is the person who goes and casts the utility spells, and Hela's kind of slow.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous for this party with the Z fight. Do you think we'll see either of these runners go and try to steal some Bacchus wines to make the berserking a little bit more viable in the Z fight?
I don't know if Zilch is going to go and steal Bacchus wines at all. Zilch might go and do either hybrid or just straight up skip that and do reflex strats. Because Zilch is going to have 2 nuke casters. The question is going to come down to, does Zilch feel comfortable doing that with a rather suboptimal anchor? Thinking of suboptimal situations, Twisted Flax, not looking to be great, but is going and getting all the spells on that Rydia. I didn't catch if Palom got nuked, but that's the Demon Machine grind done. 32 levels on Cecil, that's another high-level character.
Yeah, nice.
And a 10.
for your troubles.
Yeah, Palom is 5 levels away from nuke, while Zilch has nuke on Palom. Not unexpected, because that's a long time to spend grinding if you want to go and get nuke on your main character, but it's still going to go and sting a fair bit. Twisted Flax tenting up in here. I wonder if Twisted Flax is going to go and hit the last arm chest or check for the Elements boss for freebie experience.
Yeah, good question. I also wonder, I mean, if both bosses happened to be somewhat free here, you do have a character check at the end, but nope, we see him walking out.
Yep. Last arm chest. That's, you've got nuke on one of your characters. That makes some degree of sense, because if you can pop a Crystal Sword or an Avenger out of here, you are going to be in some very, very good positions to do damage.
Great point.
But it does look like Twisted Flax is pretty committed to hybrid strats, unless Palom somehow manages to get the rest of the experience required for nuke.
We're about to see who's waiting for us here in Cape Bahamut on Zilch's side.
Just a black shirt.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's equipment for Rydia, which can be very, very helpful.
Sure.
As you said, we're in Cape Bahamut, and it's Leviathan. This is not a bad fight at all. It doesn't punch it at all. The magic power is reasonably weak, and the waves will hurt, but we were almost certainly going to be able to DPS this Leviathan down faster. Especially with 2 casters with Lit 3 and 1 with nuke.
That's right.
Oh, both have nuke at this point, excuse me.
Yeah, we've got 2 nukes over here on Zilch's side. Should be pretty fast here.
Yep, and speaking of fast, Twisted Flax quickly going in, taking the way out of the giant, and is going to be heading off to their objectives now. Stop being aggro for... I'm guessing they need to go pick up more potions.
Yeah.
We are getting some very well-fried deal here. Oh, Twisted Flax got a cursed ring from the giant, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't think Zilch has that cursed ring. That is something that makes Twisted Flax very, very strong. 30 Cure 3 potions. Yes, Twisted Flax is willing to go hybrid and let Palom just be cursed, do nothing in that fight.
For me, yeah, I hate to see a Z fight without a white mage for that extra security blanket, but 100% doable with the big stack of Cure 3s and The party here is we've got a lot of damage dealers, so yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of staying up and uh, the cursed ring, like you said, is going to help a lot. Going to keep our agility in check.
Yep. And Twisted Flax is choosing to go to Cave Bahamut first. Is not making the play of going down to the bottom, hitting Masamune. It makes sense. The Twisted Flax, I don't believe, has hit the Queen spot in Town of Summoned Monsters, so may need to go back there unless Masamune gives the Legend Sword. But might also be checking that first in the event that it does, because that would go and save a reasonably long fight.
Yeah, interesting. Doing a version of that play that you mentioned, just fading the queen spot versus the cave Bahamut spot.
With the pass, it's a pretty marginal change between the two, so I can definitely understand it. And if you spike that Legend Sword, that's a nice item to go and get for your characters.
That's true. What does so I know with these flags, with the Sea Hero flags, the forge gives a weapon or item for whoever the hero is versus giving you the excal. So what items are possible for a Palom hero?
I believe Palom gets the option of two different stat sticks. One is the Triton's Dagger, which gives plus 15 Wisdom, or the Asura Rod, which gives plus 15 and plus 15 or plus 15 Wisdom and Will. I don't know if anyone else can use. I know Tella can go and use the Asura Rod, but I don't think anyone else can use the Triton's Dagger.
Yeah, interesting. Because especially on Twisted Flax's side, we'll probably see that Palom, um, using the cursed ring. We might not need either of those two items if Palom's not going to be doing much for us during the Z fight.
Yeah, and Palom has bluff. If you go through a curse ring on Palom, one bluff undoes all the damage to his casting stat of that curse ring.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true.
And you just keep bluffing a few more times. Just keep pulling out Stardust Rod, keep pulling imaginary Stardust Rods out in the middle of the fight. But I am being corrected from chat that Fusoya can also use the Triton Dagger, so that is good to know. That, I'd be much more interested in giving that to Fusoya than Palom, because, like I said, Palom can just pull out imaginary Stardust Rods in the fight, while Fu can't.
Right, but we only see Fu if he's the hero, so I don't think we would see in this flag set us getting those twin weapons but also having Fu.
Yeah, that is going to go and be a little tricky to pull out in here. So for this on this forge, only well, I guess you can have Fu and Palom in your party and give it to Palom, but again, imaginary Stardust Rod. But here we see the Masamune altar. Who is the best fight to find here?
Oh, I would love to see a freebie. Just get this jet seed even jettier, and we have guards, nice and free for us here.
That is, of the 3 required spots, Cave Bahamut, Queen of Summoned Monsters, and Masamune, 2 have been mages. If only we could have gone and had Ashura at the Bahamut altar, we would have gone and had all 3 mages. So Zilch could have gotten extra value out of that Runex purchase.
That's right. That's right. These guards are a little punchy in this spot. Not an issue. Again, they do not have the boss bit, as you see Zilch taking advantage of here. So pretty much anything that we can throw at them is going to hit them. Yeah, lots of physical damage here in this spot, but
very punchy. But Cecil, when he's not pairing, is going to go and cover the team, which should be enough to go and yeah, there 38 damage to Cecil. You go and do that another few thousand times, Cecil will actually start taking, being worried. But there goes the second fatal. Guards are dead. Zilch is finishing the 5th objective as Twisted Flax is walking down the lunar subterranean now.
Nice. Yeah, I'd love to see. We had this, the Darkness Crystal at Baron Inn for the seed. This has been a Jetty seed pretty much the entire time, and yeah, I love to see that commitment to the bit from this seed. Just like, you know what, the final boss here, let's make that go by very quickly here too. We have Zilch. He's got all 4 of his required objectives. He has the crystal. I feel like there's a pretty important question we need to hurry up and ask here.
Is Zilch going to go and leave Tell in the middle? Is Tell going to survive a Big Bang? Or are we talking about that final boss that's coming up? We're just screens away from.
I think it's that last one. Yeah, I mean, chat is asking all of these Z question mark flags. What is this? I don't know. Bob,
Yeah,
you're much more experienced in this than I am. What is
nap time? Stop giving me Z. Oh wait, you want the Z flag for this Zeromus sprite? That's different because Zeromus is the final boss of the game, and we don't go and let him move around because he's really mean, and carrying a scale him is just going to go and be really painful. So instead, this is a randomizer. We can't leave him alone. We change something else about him. We go and give him a makeover to go and see if we can make him look, well, a little bit different each time. So, would you like to go do the honors, Lamia?
I would love to. I would love to know, chat and Baka tonight, whose butt are we going to kick this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are? And more importantly, is it going to be a cute butt that we are going to kick?
I hope it's one that doesn't give me nightmares, but at least I have plenty of hours before I have to go to bed, so it, can hopefully fade before it tries to haunt my dreams.
Yes, same.
We do see that Twisted Flax is going into that guards fight while Zilch is going and transforming.
Oh. Zemus, I do not recognize this version of our boss. Do you know who this is?
I do.
From?
This is from Phantasy Star 4. This is a bot I would like to go and see fried horrifically because you have a decoy main character in that. Well, okay, you're somewhat genre savvy, you'll know who the main character is. But he does a number on your early party member who's the fun one and the interesting one, and I would like to see this butt fried.
All right, let's get him. Let's get this butt out of here. We see Twisted Flax is just a few steps behind here.
Twisted Flax still has to go and do the Queen Evelyn spot, or Queen
That's right.
Summon a Monster spot, unfortunately. So Twisted Flax was gambling on a Legend Sword from that Masamune altar, was not paid off, but I still think this is good routing from Twisted Flax because it's very
smart.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That Masamune.
And, go for it.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we have the pass too, so it's not a huge time loss. We don't have to do that entire walk back down. And to your point, if that had been the Legend Sword, we would have seen a pretty heads up, ability to just skip one of those bosses altogether, skip that queen spot altogether, and run back with the pass. But unfortunately, we will have to see walk down to the queen spot and pick those Mega Sisters butts.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Zilch is doing what Zilch needs to do here. We've got nukes, we've got walls coming out. Oh,
Walls already on Cecil, but we're just reflecting damage now. We're going full reflect strats, so no hybrid, no HP. We're going to go and skip the HP refill skip, skip the HP refill skip. No, we're skipping the HP refill. We're skipping Zeromus going and cheating and healing up to full after you do 45,000 damage. One of the reasons why he's not allowed out of this room.
That's right. Yeah, we can move every other boss around, but I can't imagine fighting this boss anywhere else.
I mean, just imagine you go into Antlion Cave and instead of, fighting something like Karate or Wyvern, you go and have the background shift and you're fighting Zeromus here. That'd be a rude awakening.
It really would, or a hook seed where you have to fight this down to get your way underground. There's too many places where this boss would just end the seed.
It would be quite rude. But we are seeing some very nice damage coming out on Zilch's side. I've seen a lot of quad 9s, I'm seeing a lot of 8,000s and 9,000s. Lowest roll from Rudy I've seen at 6,000, but still very solid. And Zilch did over to battle speed 4, so Zilch is going to go and have more time to go and input actions, but is not delegating in the slightest. Wants to go and get every action possible for compared to Zeromus.
Yeah, we've got this, my favorite version of Quack Kid, which is our power overwhelming Quack Kid. Just nuke after nuke after nuke. Like we said, seeing some of those quad 9s. We're seeing a shake over here too. Nope, this is it.
That is the finish. Zilch is our first place finisher and winner of this best of 3 with a time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, 35 seconds. GG Zilch.
GG Zilch.
Ew. 15 minutes does a lot to like calm down your heart rate.
Yeah, how are you feeling?
I was kind of stressed in that Z fight. I don't know if spoilers from the previous race are allowed here, but kind of like since I was behind by like 9 minutes most of that race, I was like, oh. And then we had another Jetty seed here. I was like, oh, he's going to be dunning any second now. And every nuke was excruciating.
That makes a lot of sense. You were behind early on because you took the time to go and take a siren on Palom and do a bit more underground. But once you did those, you just started just blazing through all the different checks on there. You were going and just passing Twisted Flax as he was at Ordeals first, but you got through there on the back of Quake faster. What drove you to use that first siren early?
I mean, we started with Palom, so I mean, priority is always getting him Quake. Just it can go so, especially if you get an early magma, it's like, yeah, this will just wipe through everything. Assuming you have a way to kill the egg, but Stop and Black Sword. I mean, I had the coffin too, but yeah, just knowing that I can do that would speed up everything else, especially since Palom had to solo the Ordeals fight too. So I figured it was definitely the right play there.
It's a lot of sense. But this is your second win of the best of 3, so you'll be moving on to your next round. How are you looking forward to facing your next opponent? I don't have them on hand.
I'm more of a tea person, so the coffee I'm going up against, we'll see what happens. Battle of the warm drinks, I don't know.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Go ahead.
Are you more of a Chocobo person or more of a Moogle person yourself?
I like them both, but I guess I'd go Moogle. Just at least for right now, we'll go Moogle. So we'll go T Moogle.
Always embrace option chaos of Toneberry.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That is also a good option.
Yeah, did anything happen today or in this matchup the last 3 races that you've done that you think will change your strategy moving forward? Anything that you've learned?
I mean, if I see Wyvern on Hobbs, I might not go right into it and make sure I have like a J item or something. But other than that, I think I'll probably stick to what I've been doing.
Yeah, that was an unfortunately rough bit. That
I thought I had enough damage, but nope.
So close.
That team really struggled for damage until we got Fire 2 on Palom, it looked like.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Black Sword would be enough to get me through it, but nope.
Dark Knight Cecil, after he got 34,000 experience, he finally started doing a respectable 500 damage per swing.
Apparently, I should have gotten him grinded up before I took on Wyvern. Obviously, not possible, but
yeah, that.
Apparently, that's the way.
Dark Knight Cecil is always good at betraying expectations. Kate might be the betrayer to the party, but Cecil's expectations just betray us all, or DKC's at least. Oh, do you have any final questions, Lamia, before we let Zilch go?
No, none from me. GG's, Zilch. Really excited to see you move on. And yeah, well done with this Jet seed.
Thank you. Thanks for the commentary, guys, and restreaming and tracking.
Thank you as well. That was definitely a great show. Best of luck in the next round.
GG to Twisted Flex. He put on a great show too, and this really could have gone either way.
Oh yeah. this is definitely a very exciting race. You both had two different grinds, which are interesting to sit and talk about.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to watching it back.
That was Zilch, our first place finisher, who put on a very good show. Definitely give him and Twisted Flax a follow if you are interested, if you're enjoying Free Enterprise. So we'll go and see if we can get Twisted Flax in here. And we are joined by Twisted Flax now. GG's Twisted Flax.
Thank you very much.
That was a series.
It was very, very hard fought, and obviously GG's to Zilch, who was an absolutely worthy winner.
Yeah, that when you saw the objectives, what were your thoughts on them?
Well, I mean, clearly you had to get underground because two of the objectives are underground, and you had to get into the moon because two objectives are on the moon. And when that's the case, it really just depends on how twisty the seed wants to make it, whether it makes you be on a hook route, whether it hides the darkness crystal somewhere. So once it gave you the magnet key, it gave you the darkness crystal pretty early. You knew it was going to be pretty much of a jet seed, and it's just a question of who can outrace the other in a seed like that. And I made a couple hiccups along the way, and when you're playing a racer like Zilch, you just can't afford that. So it does not surprise me that he beat me today.
It's been a really close matchup between the two of you this entire series, so it was incredible to watch you both get into your grind at the same time, take two different grinds. Yeah, it was quite a matchup. Absolutely incredible job. I had a question about that Rydia that just didn't want to be forgotten. No matter what you tried to do, you couldn't get away from Rydia, huh?
I mean, yeah, obviously in that situation, you definitely want a white mage to round out your party. Rydia will do, I suppose. I had the Asura, so if I really felt like rolling the dice, I would use that. So when I saw her at the package, I was like, well, we'll see who's in Dwarf Castle. And Rydia was there. And of course, I wiped the Ogo there, which is fortunate. I reset and I found myself outside of Mist. I'm like, well, it's going to take me about as much time to beat Dwarf Castle as it's going to take me to get through the package cutscene here. So I, just gridded through the cutscene, and I did get the adamant out of it, which got me like an extra out. If the Basmuni altar gave me the Legend Sword, I wouldn't have to go and beat the Mega Sisters in Fey March. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I think we were both rooting for you to find that Legend Sword at the altar, just to see the two different possible routes through the seed.
Yeah, we were discussing that a fair bit, that was an option for you, and I would definitely find myself in the middle of a race missing the idea that the Legend Sword was out for me at the Masamune altar. Definitely good for you to go and pick up on that and go and plan accordingly for it. I think it was the most efficient route to go and take with that option on the table for you. So, and again, high pressure race, jet seed, good on you for just identifying that.
Well, like I said, when you're up against a racer like Zilch, who is just so good, especially on seeds like this, I just had a few mistakes there. It's funny because like a couple weeks ago on the Discord, I was talking to people about that exact spot I hit on the D Machine chart, where it gives you two options, and your next fight could be in that room or could be the next room 3 fights later. And I remember talking to people saying, just take the next fight. You're guaranteed to fight 3 fights later in the next room. But I didn't remember that, and so I took the next fight in the same room and found what looked like to be the grind, and it just turned out to be the horse grind, unfortunately. So that definitely cost me time.
Yeah, that was just brutal. There's so many of those fights can just roll you. It's like, yes, no, this is the correct fight, except there's a small chance sometimes you'll go get the wrong one.
Yes. Ironic for me to lose time on a D Machine grind. I'm sure people noticed.
Oh, any time you lost on getting it, at least you made up for just the beautiful execution you had during it. You were going through those D Machines very efficiently. You kept a very good count, if I'm not mistaken, as to how many D Machines you were doing.
absolutely. And we noticed you got right into the flow of it too. You know, you had your Rydia down, you had your edge down, just only the party members you needed to have a fast, clean, efficient grind once you got in there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What were your thoughts on these flags overall? What are how do you feel about these Z4 flags?
They were really interesting flags, and hats off to everyone behind the scenes who worked hard to get this flag set to us for this tournament. I think they were hoping to not get so many Demon Machine grinds or Mac Giant grinds. I think we're just stuck in our ways, and we know that's the most efficient way, even if we don't have the life glitch on. So I'm sure they're going to come back with a very interesting and difficult flag set for the next tournament, and I really look forward to it.
Glad you're enjoying it. Any other final thoughts before we let you go?
Once again, congratulations to Zilch. I am really looking forward to the match between him and Coffee and Chocobos in the next round. And thanks to everyone on the Restream team, Sickonaut and Scythe Marshall, and you two, Baka and Lamia, and everyone else, in the community who just puts these tournaments on, does so much stuff behind the scenes, and makes it a wonderful experience, not just for us racing, but for everyone watching. And I don't think we thank you guys enough for everything you guys do.
We have lots of appreciation for all the Restream team. They definitely go put out work, and appreciation for you as well for being runners in this tournament. We won't be able to put on a show without you.
Thank you very much.
Amazing job. GG's again. That was really incredible to watch.
Thank you very much, and I will catch you guys in the next tournament.
Sounds good. GG's again, and another brilliantly run race.
Thank you.
But with that, that is the end of our show for today. A brilliant race between Zilch and Twisted Flags, Jetty seed around, but still a very fun one to go and look at with numerous interesting divergences.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of twists and turns, and it really great to see the different grind options on display for us. And again, GG's to both runners. I think we have our raid target though. Do you want to do the honors?
Certainly. We'll be raiding Cosmorpheus, who is another fantastic runner of the Free Enterprise flags. He is also in the tournament. He is going and playing some Free Enterprise now as well. So we'll go and get you sent along there in just one moment.
And as usual, when we send you over, make sure to keep the results and the particulars of this race that we just watched to yourself. We don't want any spoilers in the chat there for anybody who wants to come back and watch the VOD of this later on.
Indeed. Don't tell them any of the details of the match, but feel free to tell them it was a good one.
Indeed.
Bye.